another one. It's Nelly.
It's Bree.
It's Lonnie.
And we're starting a new series because that's what we do and we can't. So this time it's called When I Grow Up, the series. So if you remember, we did do like a
episode. We did one episode. So if you're an original, if you're an OG and you was back in there with season 1, because I think that was season 1.
Yeah,
if not, it was 2. It was season 1 or 2.
I think so.
But if you know, you know.
Period.
So it seems like we're just turning our episodes into series. So if you was here from the beginning, you know. You know the real world.
It's the growth.
Exactly. So today we are discussing what, ladies?
We're talking expectation versus reality. So like we see it on social media and stuff, but we're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about our expectation of what we thought adulthood would be, where we thought we would be by our 20s, where we should be, and where we are.
Should,
yeah. I mean, that's open for interpretation. But yeah, we're just going to talk about that and just like appreciate where we are right now too. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it, because I have a question. Okay. So what was y'all first, what was y'all age when y'all was like, yeah, I'm gonna be grown, I'm gonna be good? And y'all might not have like hit it yet, but like at what age did y'all think life was just gonna be together for you?
Oh. I feel like mine was very early, because my parents say all the time, I used to say, I'm not coming back after I go to college. Like, I'm going to be moved out. Like, I'm going to be on my own. So, I probably thought, like, when we go to college? 18, 19. I probably thought by, like, 20, 21, I was going to be set. I don't know why.
Career or just, like, on your own?
On my own. So for some reason, well, I take that back. I probably thought by the end of college I would be set. Yeah. So like
22.
Yeah, 22. I thought I would be living on my own out here in my career, in the career field. Maybe not like dream job, but I definitely thought I was gonna be out of the house.
Yeah, I think for me it was at the end of college too, like 22. I give myself to like 23-ish. Because, like, I've seen my parents, my mom went into the government, like, while she was in college. Mm-hmm. And then after college, she stayed in the government and she retired from the government. My dad, he was working all his life. So, it's like, I've always seen people, like, have jobs, like, at that early age. So, I was like, oh, I'm going to graduate with my bachelor's degree. People going to want to hire me. Right. I'm going to be salaried. Yeah, that ain't plan.
Yeah, that's a whole different story once we get into, like, the whole 4-year degree now and just, like... Mm-hmm. The way companies try to play with you. Like you really need like 7 degrees. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Honestly, complete transparency, I feel like I'm pretty on track for like what my expectation was. For me, I'm the youngest of the bunch, so I'm only 22 now. So like by 25, I feel like I will have like feet in the ground, probably engaged.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like, probably engaged. Younger me would have said kids, but me now I'm like younger me probably would have said kid. But now I'm like I can wait a little longer to have kids like closer to 30. Yeah. So, but all in all, like I feel like I'm pretty on track. I didn't go back home after college though, and I made that a point. I moved in with my sister, but it wasn't back home because I was like I can't go back to living with my parents. And yeah, then having to choose a parent, my situation, it was just like too much.
Yeah, I think I kind of was the same way. Like after college, I came back to my mom's house, but then some situations happened, and then I moved in with my sister. But to me, like that's still like coming back home after college, and I'm still living with a family member. Like I really thought that I was gonna be like, I'm gonna have a job, I'm gonna be making X amount of money, I'm gonna have my own at least apartment. I knew I wasn't gonna buy a house yet because
out of college.
Out of college. It's a lot to go into that. Like I need to get a job first, but I at least thought I was gonna have like my own apartment. But coming home and like still living with my sister is still kind of like, you know, moving back home after college to me.
I definitely feel like now though, like my expectations, once I hit like junior year of college, I feel like my expectations shifted, and now I'm on track for what those were. Like, I definitely, reality hit, it set in, and I was like, okay, let me set some realistic goals, and I feel like I'm on track for those goals.
So let's talk like 12-year-old you. So like 12-year-old you can't wait to be 18, can't wait to be an adult. You know, you're just ready to be grown, and everybody tells you like, don't rush to grow up, like it's ghetto here. But you don't believe them because you just see they move how they want to, they do what they want. So yeah, were y'all excited to be grown? Like, or what in adulthood has like shocked you the most that you're like, please, I want to go back?
I was definitely excited to be grown. I think I was excited to get to 18 because everyone around me who was 18 and older kept like saying like, oh, well, I'm legal. Like I have these like certain like, right, I have like these like certain.
So oh, you get 18, no, you're legal. You can go to jail. You can go to jail.
Exactly. So I was so excited to get to 18 because I'm like, ooh, once I hit 18, I can walk around and say I'm legal now. Like, you know, I'm not in high school no more. Like this, that, and the third. But once I got to 18, it was just like, okay, after, like literally the day after my birthday, it was just like, there's nothing left.
Like, you get nothing at 18.
Nothing.
I don't know why 18 is such like a big deal because you don't get anything when you turn 18. If anything, like 21 is the age that you can drink. But 18 is not fun. Like
unless you like out of the country. I will say like if you in a different country where 18 is the legal age, like to drink and all that kind of stuff, then it's different.
Yeah. But like you can go to a few lounges maybe, and there's not even a lot of 18 and over clubs, and the ones that exist suck.
Yeah, and like on your college campuses or something.
Yeah, but you really don't get much at 18. Like you're just in that awkward phase of adulthood where you can't even rent a car at 21.
You can't.
Right.
Like,
you really can't. You gotta wait till you're 25.
Or if you do, you have to pay like some wild fees. It's like an extra $100 a day or something. You're a liability still.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
I feel like though
it's very disrespectful because I mean renting cars and I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I understand they think we're gonna be more reckless, whatever, but child,
it don't make any sense. But yeah, 18 was like that age when I was like 12. Like even like around like 14, 15, like when I first entered high school, 18 was that age. And then the day after,
you can get tattoos.
Yeah,
that's something else.
Yeah, that is what I did on my 18th.
Without
I got my nose pierced.
Yeah,
so
without a parent or guardian.
But the day after, I was like, all right, let's skip over 19, 20. I'm ready for 21.
Yeah. I don't really remember. Like, I just remember, I don't know. I just feel like I was like, okay, 18. Like I said, I was ready. I knew 21 was the age to be. Like, I knew 18 was just like, all right, let me go get my little tattoos that I am. Like,
you're an adult.
But yeah, 21 was the age for me, the goal age for me.
You can get bank accounts and credit cards at 18. I'm just trying to think of like all the things that you can get at 18.
But at 18, you can be bank accounts before.
Yeah, but your parent has to be an authorizer. Like you can't just have your own.
I mean, at 18, I feel like at 18 you're thinking about that stuff, but you're not really thinking about it because like you're either freshly going into college or freshly out of high school. Like, I mean, if you're freshly out of high school and getting a job, obviously you need your own.
And can we talk about how crazy that is? That like that. It's like not even 10 years that they expect you to go from basically being spoon-fed in high school, because although some high schools won't say this, yes, they do spoon-feed you, to a year difference and expect to be able to live on your own, feed yourself, take on a 16 credit course load, and all this other stuff. Get a job if you have to. And it's like, dang.
College is the buffer. Like, that's what is intended to be, that buffer between the shift of you're a child to you're an adult.
But don't never feel like a buffer.
No, you don't get a break. I mean, you don't get a break in life, period. Like, it's just going to keep coming at you.
It was just like, it just hit you like a ton of bricks after high school, and you just like, boom, you're in college, and now you got to figure out all these different things. So.
And it's like, dang. I just feel like there needs to be way more preparation in high school.
There does.
Now, I feel like the years also, like, go by so much faster as you get older. Like, I can remember being, like, 9 and being like, oh, my gosh, like, next year, like, that's so far away. Like, I gotta wait a month. I gotta wait 2 months. But now, I'm like, the year is over. 2020's over. Like, as far as I'm concerned, everything's planned out. Like, there's no more days left.
Yeah.
And they
It's
just
really crazy.
blink of an eye.
It is crazy. It definitely makes you appreciate, like, when your elders tell you, take your time, be patient, slow down, you ain't gonna be young forever. Like, all those little cliche things really hit hard when you get older.
Because, like, my birthday just passed, and I'm like, dang, I'm 25.
Like, it's crazy.
The time he was just 19. Like, he was just turning 19.
Okay, so what's one thing that you expected to do when you were younger that you have yet to do now?
Like, by this age, or just, like, soon come?
Like,
Or
like
just as an
soon
adult.
come. Like, what's a goal you had set for yourself that you haven't reached yet?
Marriage is like a really big goal for me, and I think that it's because my parents were never married to each other. My dad is getting married this year actually, but my parents were never married to each other, and my boyfriend, like, seeing his family, they've been married for, I want to say, like 26 years. Like, it's been a long time, and just like being around them and seeing that environment is really important to me, and it's just something that I've always wanted to be able to give my kids. So marriage is definitely on the list. I mean, prayerfully it happens, and it happens with who I'm with now. But you know, it's all God's plan. Your life comes at you fast.
Not playing.
It is. It does.
Yeah,
It really does. I would say marriage for me too, and also like buying a house and just like having my own like stability. Because like my parents were like really big on that. Like my mom, she, like I said, she pretty much went all her career in the government. She kind of like elevated there. She retired. She had like her own house. She had kids and things like that. So she always taught me like, always take care of yourself and make sure that you have your own and never have to depend on anyone else. And I think I'm slowly starting to get to that point, because now like I have my own car, pay my own bills, things like that. But I think for me, like the ultimate goal will to be like to have my own house and have like a piece of property that I can call my own.
and I'm gonna answer it, but I want to ask this before I forget it. So our parents obviously grew up in a completely different time. And stuff was way easier to purchase, responsibilities were different at a younger age. And so how often do y'all not struggle, but like how often do those conversations come up, if at all, with your parents? Like, do they hold you to the same expectations that they held themselves, like what they were doing at your age now? Are they like, why are you not doing this? Because I was doing this, da 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 da. Like, how often is that a conversation? Because I know most parents understand that it is a different time, but it's still sometimes parents don't differentiate.
Yeah. I don't think it's pretty often. I think my mom has become a little bit more understanding, especially like with like this new pandemic like into fruition, and like inflation going around, and like just she's seen it for herself. So, but I also think that, like, we literally had this talk the other day about, like, me living on my own. And I think sometimes we have a disconnect, because she's like, well, you can just go out and get an apartment. And I'm like, girl, have you seen, like, these rent prices and, like, these salaries? Like, cost of living and, like, compensation are not matching up. Like, and they haven't been matching up for years. So, I think that's kind of where we clash, too, because she, like, when she was younger, my age, she was working 2 jobs. Like, she had a full-time job in the government, she was working part-time. So she's like, well, just get a part-time job. Like, I had to do that when I was in college. I was taking 18 credits, and I had a part-time job, and I was paying my car note, and your grandmother wasn't helping me with anything. So I think that's where, like, we often have a disconnect sometimes. But like I said, she's pretty, like, understanding for the most part.
Yeah. I think this is, for me, like, where the age thing comes in, because I personally don't have that issue, because I've done so much at such a young age for my parents. Like, neither one of them went to college. My dad didn't buy his first property until I think he was 30. So, like, things that I'm doing, they're just you know, every parent wants their child to do better than they done and like be in a better situation than them. So like my parents are just always like super proud of me. So it's like they guide me and they've set me up to be in the positions that I'm in, but we've never had any conversation that's like, oh well, at that age I've never had that because I've already kind of surpassed where they were at my age back then. So the only thing is like my mom is like ready for grandkids and like she's like, you know, I'm ready, like about your age, by your age I would have had your sister, like come on. But other than that, like in terms of like goals and like career and stuff, and even like, you know, my parents know my salary and stuff and like that type of thing, and like I know that I'm at a point beyond where they were at my age. So they did a great job. Shout out to them.
Shout out to her parents. Cause yeah. Yeah, I won't say that. I will say that at first I feel like my parents were very like, oh, you know, why you not doing this at your age? My mom will say like, at your age, I was having my second child. I had been on my own at 18 and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. So she had been out the house since 18. And I think sometimes I put that standard on myself when I was growing up just because I didn't know like price of houses yet and like how much it cost of living was and stuff like that. But as I got older, of course, and learned that stuff, I realized like, girl, sit down. Like we in a fully different, I mean, she wasn't really putting that pressure on me, but I was putting that pressure on myself and then projecting that back onto her. So as I got older, I definitely realized like, she more so would like pull me back and be like, you don't have to move that fast because this world is not the same world, you know, that you're living in. But my father, I don't know. He don't really like, I'm probably his best child. So like, so he never really, he just be like, oh, you know, Nelly doing this, Nelly doing that. So I feel like the same, like he's just always proud. But, yeah, I'm definitely their best child, so...
Is it different for you versus your brothers, like, when it comes to your dad?
Or expectations in general?
There are definitely double standards, but I feel like I address it before they get a chance to, like, implement the double standards, if that makes sense. Like, I am more ambitious than my brothers. And I'm a little more, I am more independent and I'm more responsible. I mean, and that's a known thing in the house.
She love y'all though if you listen.
Yeah. No, I do. Whatever, I ain't listening. But no, like, it's always been that way. So for me, the expectations are like, oh, Janelle's going to do that. So like, we don't really have to worry about her as much. Whereas them, my mother has to like handhold them do things. Like my brother just moved out the house when he was 29, so it's like, and he was forced to do that. You
at least 29.
That's what I'm saying, you know. But no, like, and they know like I'm not going to be there until I'm 29. So it's like it's never been they had to force me to do anything because I look at the situation and I'm like, sis, you can't be doing this right here. So yeah, I feel like it's more me than it is them enforcing the double standards. Which is terrible, but whatever.
And it's just the price difference of things is like night and day. Like from when they were like the housing market itself, but besides that, cars, everything is so much more expensive now. And granted, like the minimum wage and stuff is higher, but everything costs so much more. Like you really cannot compare,
especially right now. Like stuff is
everything. There's nothing that you can find that's not going to be expensive.
And like I'm telling y'all, like 7 to 10 years, you won't be able to get a house for under $300,000.
And that's sad.
Like,
and like,
it's hard now, but yeah, I'm just saying, I'm not no real estate expert or anything, but I'm just like looking at these prices in the market
in this area,
and yeah, it was like Upper Marlboro. I think like a 2-bedroom was like $450, and I'm just like, why?
I saw a townhouse today. I was on Redfin today and saw a townhouse for $610,000. Why?
Absolutely
no, it's
not.
crazy. I will say, because even when I was like telling my dad about my process, what I paid for my house is what he paid for his house. That was I was living there at 4, so 17 years ago.
Oof.
So it's just like that big of a difference.
That is a huge difference.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, in 10 years, listen, grab your properties now.
That's
That's all I can say.
Do it soon. Save your money.
Saying. But so like I have a question. So when y'all were younger, like did y'all have careers in mind that y'all thought y'all were gonna like come into or like be when y'all were older?
Absolutely. I went through a few, but no, seriously, like I thought I was gonna be a photographer. But I think the big one when I was younger was a lawyer, and that's why I was gonna be a lawyer. I was gonna be the baddest, okay? Gonna be winning them cases and everything. But then I realized I don't enjoy educational reading. Like, and when I say educational reading, I'm like, I'm not about to learn all these bills. I'm not reading nobody's Congress documents. Like, I'm not doing it. And I put so much pressure on myself for so long. Like, no, we're gonna go to law school. We're gonna do this, this, and this. I'm like, girl, you can't even read these undergraduate books. What do you think you're about to do in law school? And like, I could force myself to do it and be miserable, but who wants to do that? So once I got over that, I was like, great. I still don't know what I want to do, but I don't. Like, I'm in general. Yeah, like,
That's real.
I still don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm on the path to where I'm going. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure I had. I mean, if you ask my parents, I wanted to be in tech for a while,
I could really see
or
that.
like IT or whatever. And I was on the path for that actually in high school, but it didn't click. My father always wanted me to go to law school. I was never interested in that.
So what's up with?
It's because
it's a
he's
black
just
parent.
in the criminal
I was
justice
just
field.
about to
so
say.
it's
I think
like-
it's a black parent thing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, those careers of like doctor, lawyer, they're so prestigious, and I think there's not a lot of people in those fields that look like us generally. So like,
And for
that's a brag.
many people, it correlates to money. It's just like you
Yeah.
get automatic stability and money, and that's not always true.
But no, them lawyers, it'd be $250 an
Some
hour.
though.
Like,
Some, because what if you are a lawyer, but you choose to be a public defender or something like that?
some people do it for the bigger, like they have a bigger
Yeah.
purpose and they just want to fight the system from the inside.
And
But-
I know I was reading, I probably saw it on TikTok, Instagram from TikTok, that like a doctor was getting paid like $60K and the nurses get paid like $90K. So like, I guess it just depends on where you at and all that.
And then
kind of
that
stuff.
also though
Public or
goes
private.
into, are you negotiating? Because that be getting a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's been a hot topic
That's
lately.
true.
Like, did they give you $60K and you just accepted it? Like,
Right. What kind of hospital are you at? If it's a public hospital, you probably.
is it a clinic?
Yeah.
Like, those things matter.
Yeah. I think for me it was definitely a lawyer at one point because I just know that like my mom would always say, you can be a good lawyer because you love to debate. You love to argue somebody down.
that was it.
So as soon as like she just kept saying that to me, I was like, well, maybe I should just go to school to be a lawyer. Maybe I'll be a prosecutor. But after that, I was just like, after like learning that I have to go to law school after undergrad,
It's big wow.
it wasn't for me.
I don't enjoy school.
And then I think after that, I wanted to be a pediatrician. I don't know where that came from. I think, yeah, I don't even think. I don't know where that came from. I just wanted to be a pediatrician, maybe because of the money.
The whole doctor thing.
Yeah, the whole doctor thing. But yeah, then I was like, I don't know if I want to like work with other people's kids, you know, at that young
I don't
age.
think doctor
So.
ever came across all this.
No. I'm not a science girl.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
science just was never it
That
for
was
me.
the other thing. I was just like, I'm not going to school and learning science all 4 years, and then I have to go to
It
medical
was like
school.
a foreign
No.
language, child. And so was like government and history, so I don't know.
That is
Like
not-
lawyer just was never.
I took mock trial in high school and I loved it, but we have to also accept that we were not arguing a real case. Like, we were not using like legal books and stuff. Like, we were provided like evidence in a packet. Like, if I could be a lawyer and
Right.
based off of like evidence and just like common sense, yeah. Like, if you could just give me everything and I formulate an argument,
Yeah.
I could do that. But which is honestly what you do in court. It's the
It is,
getting
yeah.
certified.
Yeah,
to-
it is the knowing all the laws and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just too
Yeah.
much.
Because I'm not quoting
Absolutely
nobody's
not.
Supreme Court case. Like,
And if somebody do something wrong in court, I'm not gonna know because I don't know the law.
I can't object.
I saw this on Scandal. I don't
No, for
really
real.
know.
And then Olivia Pope had me thinking that I was going to be a gladiator in a suit. Okay.
All I wanted was Olivia's closet. Okay, that's it.
But no, her job just seems so cool. Like, I want to do that. Like, just something in that realm. But yeah, I've just
It
come
was
to
just
the
too
conclusion
much,
that it's
and it was just too time consuming, and no.
It's too much school.
But for me though, it's not school. Like, school's not the issue. Like, I am strongly considering getting my PhD. Like, strongly considering it. And it's just like, I actually enjoy school. Like, I enjoy learning and I enjoy the process of it. But law school?
That's a whole different type of school.
Yeah. And then the bar? Like,
Nah,
like,
people be losing their hair over the bar. Like,
yeah.
it's no way.
Absolutely not. You won't find me
that
at
life.
no bar today. Pulling my hair out. Nope.
So, get back on track here. What's your biggest adulting lesson? And we've probably mentioned this several times, but it could change every month. So,
Lesson?
something you did not expect to learn as an adult, or something that you learned over and over again as an adult.
That's a good question. I feel like there's a lot of things, and I want to say I'm trying to think of which one takes the cake.
I think for me, like, starting over is okay. Like, I feel like once I was out of college, like, once I was on a roll, I had to, like, stay on that roll and stay on that path. But I mean, sometimes you gotta start over, whether that's like at a new job, a new like career. Like, I know for me, like Bree said, I don't really know what I want to do yet. I just know that I'm in my field of what I went to school for right now, because obviously I need a job, and right now that's the most stable. But I don't know if I want to change my career paths eventually. I don't know where I'm going to end up. So I think for me, like, just starting over has been like a continuous like lesson, and like just a continuous thing that I have to keep telling myself.
Mine would probably be like, time does not wait for anyone, and then the world, it doesn't stop. I think that like, as an adult, like, things just come at you so fast, and like, you really don't truly have time to come up to breathe, and so you have to like make space for yourself within that. Like, especially on those bad days where like literally everything bad that can go wrong goes wrong. Like, you like go outside, your tire flat. All right, you try to get it together, then you on the highway and you run out of gas. Like, it be those kind of days where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, and you really be in tears. Like, I have literally had days of adulthood where I'm just, I cannot take
From
this.
the moment I wake up to the end of the day, I be like, bruh.
Like, this is too much. And it's just, once you realize like the world doesn't stop, so you don't have to keep chasing it, like, that's probably the biggest lesson.
I feel like mine is building connections and networking, and not just in career, not just in, like, that's just everyday life. Like, who you do life with, who you work for, who you meet in the grocery store, like, people, and just having relationships with other people, random, close, not close, is just important. And I feel like that's something I've struggled with, because I am not a people person at all. I am not the person. I was standing in the elevator with a bunch of people, or like one person, and not say a word. I'm not even hot sometimes. Like, it may be rude. I'm sorry. I just don't be thinking about it. But yeah, I feel like I have had to force myself to get out of that, and that's like one of my biggest adulting lessons.
Yeah. I agree with you, but also I feel like it is a little bit scary because people be crazy.
Yeah.
And just like talking to strangers sometimes, and like, you don't know what you want to share, or like, you know, the fear of oversharing. You know, you tell somebody where you work, and then all of a sudden they pop up at your job. Like, that stuff goes through my head too. But that's another episode. Maybe Safety, the series. I don't know. Safety, something. So I have a final question to close us out. What has been y'all biggest like expectation versus reality moment in adulthood? Like, something that's like the most ghetto thing ever that you just did not expect, or it could be a good thing like that you did not expect. What's that one thing?
I think for me it's dating, like in adulthood. Cause like when you're in high school, like if you like somebody and they like you back, you like, all right, we go together. Like that's usually how it goes, and then y'all break up and then that's it. But like I feel like dating in adulthood is just a completely different world in itself, because it's like you have to get to know somebody else while still getting to know you as a young adult, and like just knowing how to like coexist with that person, and knowing like what their likes and dislikes are, and knowing what your likes and dislikes are, without like, you know, projecting like your issues and your challenges on them. It's just a whole like world, and like dating in general and getting to know different people. It's like
and strangers,
like, it's just too many energies for me sometimes, because like some people like they're cool, but other people are like, all right, you a little cuckoo in the head, you a little crazy. But yeah, dating for me has definitely like, yeah, it's been hard.
Yeah. But I feel like also like starting to be like, dang, I could spend the rest of my life with this person, or like, do I want to spend the rest of your life with this person? Like, in high school, like, or just in elementary, wherever you was dating, like, it's just like, this is for fun, like, this is for now. And every person that you date at this age, it's like, do I see myself with them?
You start looking
forever.
At the future.
And some people think like you moving too fast if you think like that, but child, that's the first thing that goes through my mind.
Yeah,
I even look at somebody, I'm like, could I look at them the rest of my life?
Yeah, I feel like if you're dating at this age, especially like in your 20s, even in your early 20s, I feel like you're dating to marry. Like you're not just dating just to get to know somebody. If that's the case, you're just making friends.
Right.
But you're dating to marry, to see if like you can find that soulmate that you can see spending the rest of your life with.
For me, I guess my biggest reality is just like, we have time. Like, I mean, granted, life is short, blah, blah, blah. Like, we could go at any moment. But, like, you don't have to be your best self at 22 or 25. Like, there's literally, Steve Harvey was living in his car at 30, which I didn't know until I was watching Steve Harvey show. Anywho, he was living in his car till 30. So it's just like, these people who we're looking up to and who we're seeing so successful didn't pop off until their 30s and 40s. So, like, what is the rush? Like, just be content with where you are, be happy with where you are, and be proud of the progress that you've made from a couple years ago, even a couple months ago, a week ago. Like, you could be a different person every single day, and just make sure the new person is the best version of who you are.
Yeah. I think my biggest, like, I don't know what it's like.
Expectation versus reality. Like, is it a
lesson? More so like a proud achievement. Like, I truly enjoy being able to teach my parents things. Like, that, I don't know what it is, but like, and not out of no spiteful, like, oh, y'all used to tell me what to do and now y'all can't. No, I genuinely, like, I was telling Brie the other day, like, I am forcing them to travel. Like, that's just one thing that they, as a child, it was always like, oh, we ain't got no go nowhere. We can stay right here. We fine. And now they want to go on trips and stuff with me, and like Christmas, I'm like Santa, and like that kind of stuff. Just, it makes me happy to be able to do things for them. And that ain't something I would have ever expected as an adult, like, to really cherish and appreciate. So I enjoy being able to, like, spoil my parents and teach my parents and help them experience life, even though they're much older than me.
Because it's a new life. Shoot.
Yes.
This is new.
Yeah. Well, y'all, expectations versus reality.
And we done kicked off a new series.
Yeah.
So y'all know we got 6 more episodes.
So let us know what you want to talk about, okay?
So we ain't answered the questions now, or you ain't hear what you needed to hear yet. You better keep listening, because it's going to be good.
Stay tuned. We appreciate y'all. As always, it is a wrap.
It's too early. Signing out.